Okay, normally I wouldn't say this, but I'm gonna say this. I need you to watch this to the end and share it because the internet and human beings will always make the point for me. Let's start with real estate, a topic that I've done to death. If you've ever seen my videos on real estate, you understand I've hit this every which way possible. And again, let me say that when it comes to real estate, all you're paying for is space. And if your space isn't getting any bigger, why the fuck is the price going up? Somebody's going to give you the bullshit about the neighborhood you live in and the good neighborhood, bad neighborhood. Meanwhile, we watch storms drown states five at a time. Wildfires, earthquakes, tornadoes, etc., etc. So don't give me the bullshit about good neighborhoods. Again, if you dealt with the problem of real estate, you would deal with the problem of politics because that's the only reason a lot of politicians remain career politicians. I know a lot of people like to throw out term limits, but term limits don't solve anything because you just end up exchanging one jackass for another jackass. The answer is fix real estate. This way, you can have a really tough time gerrymandering districts. Like I said, I've done it to death. I'm not going to go into details here. The second thing here, again, I want you to watch to the end because it has a point, because he proves it for me. God is not blessing you with anything. You know how I know that? Because people who don't believe what you believe have everything you have, and in some cases, even more. So your blessings are not coming from God. Even by your own religious beliefs, your blessings aren't coming from God. Satan is the one who introduced mankind to knowledge. Now, a lot of people will say that God didn't want man to know the knowledge of good and evil. But when you consider the material things and the fighting and the bullshit that goes along with the material things that human beings created, you start to see a pattern of evil. But then again, God did create evil himself. But anyway, Satan introduces mankind to the knowledge that God doesn't want humans to have, and he gets so angry that he kicks mankind out of paradise. And mankind, ever since that point, gave God the middle finger and said, "Screw you, we will create our own paradise." And that's why human beings have been defacing, concreting, destroying, polluting God's creation known as the earth. So, whenever somebody tells you that their blessings are coming from God, I'm sorry, but all your blessings are the mark of the beast. And I understand people are going to go, the mark of the beast is a mark on your forehead. And you people need to make up your minds. Do we take the Bible literally or not? Because people are always thinking of ways to get money. So there it is on your mind. And I'm sorry, but how do you count money? As you're using your... So, please watch this. People will always prove me right. I've done these topics to death. I'm really tired of it. And, well, like I said, always prove me right.
How is it considered ethical for people to own so many houses? I'm just wondering how, as a Christian, this isn't seen as greed. Don't you know that buying up all these homes is what's causing the housing shortage?
Let's just start with not the spiritual part, but your economic understanding. That's not what's causing the housing shortage. Investors buying up houses is not causing the housing shortage. Okay, period. So you're just wrong.
Now that is it. Can we stay on that for just a second?
Yeah.
Because that is a thing going around that these massive hedge funds or Blackstone, like all these, they're coming
Well,
in and
they are,
buying up.
but that's they don't have a soul.
That's right. Okay, so
Hedge funds don't have a soul.
yes.
So
So because an individual investor, right, for the average person out there who has maybe 2 or 3 rental homes, right, they're on baby steps and they're doing it.
they're not causing the problem. But Blackstone, yeah, those guys are buying up houses.
So
that's true.
Is that and is that affecting the housing market at all? Because that is
It probably is to some extent, but not as much as TikTok says it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, you really don't want your economic lessons on TikTok. I'll just help you with that in general. But anyway,
You're on TikTok though.
I know, but that just proves that I'm lacking in judgment. But I own, I don't even know, 15, 20 houses. and a bunch of commercial real estate as well. How is that not greed? Because I don't own anything. I'm a Christian, and that means God owns it, and I'm managing it for him. So I guess you're calling God greedy now.
Okay, so devil's advocate, what would you say if Greg was like, well, Dave, why do you need so many houses? Why don't you just give all that extra money away?
I'm managing money for God. That's my job.
This is the same logic of, well, is it greedy to have more in your retirement than maybe you may not need, right? Like
listen, if you got three bathrooms, you have three more than most people in the world. Why are you not greedy? If you have 2 cars, you have 2 cars more than most people in the world. If you make $38,000 a year, you're in the top 1% of income earners in the world. How are you not greedy? Because amounts don't create greed. Greed is a spirit. It is not an amount. And, if you want to be a communist, just be a communist. Don't try to blame Christianity for it. Okay? If you want to be a socialist, just be a socialist. Don't try to blame Christianity for it. That's a form of heresy called Gnosticism that believes that the material is bad, and anyone that has the material, their soul is in jeopardy. The Gnostics taught that in the 1st century. They were heretics. So if you want to do a little theological rabbit hole, we can do that. But
I love the rabbit holes, Dave. No, that's good. I think that's it, though. Greed is not an amount. It's a spirit.
That's it.